Hi, it's Jo here, curate at St Giles in Desborough and Brampton Ash, Dingley and Braybrook. There's a passage in the scriptures where Jesus talks about being the vine and that we are the branches, and if we want to stay alive and to keep on growing, then we need to remain connected to the vine. We're going through a series, Practicing the Way, and this series, which we'll be following for quite some time, is intended to help us grow in our relationship with God, to learn rhythms of life and practices that we can incorporate into our daily lives that will help us to stay connected to Jesus. And I think it's so easy for us to be so distracted either by the busyness of our lives or the busyness of our online lives or even the busyness of our thought lives. And there are so many ways that these distractions can cause us to become disconnected from the vine, to be separated in so many ways from Jesus. I'm in my garden, and I'm not a gardener by any stretch of the imagination, and if I showed you around my garden you would see that with your own eyes. But when we prune our trees, when you cut branches off, then they might look green and healthy for a little while, but very quickly they will look brown and dry and nothing new will grow on them. And so this idea of being connected to Jesus, who is the vine, the true vine, and we want to remain connected to him so that we can grow and we can have new fruit grow in our lives. And whatever season of life we find ourselves in, whether it's a joyful season or a difficult season, to stay connected to Jesus is the thing that will help us to continue to grow in the fruits that Jesus has for us. And our lives will become so entwined with his that instead of our walk with Christ being confined to the time we spend in church, maybe on a Sunday, or the time that we spend intentionally reading the Bible or praying or talking with a good Christian friend, rather than that being the everything of our faith, suddenly our faith becomes the everything of our everyday, and we realise that we're never apart from Jesus, and that actually we can talk to him in every circumstance, in every situation, and we will grow to be closer and to be more like him. And that is my prayer for myself. I just want to be like Jesus. And I'm not sharing this with you because I've got this stuff sorted and I'm never disconnected. I'm just sharing with you my heart that this is how I want my life to be, and I pray that it's how you want your life to be too, that you're so connected into Jesus that you're not going to be separated, and you're not going to be not bearing new fruit, and you're not going to be disconnected, but that you're going to continue growing in Jesus, continue growing into that disciple, if you want to call it that, but into that person of faith that God desires for you to be, and that we as a church desire one another to be, and hopefully that you desire yourself to be. And so just read that passage this week. It's John 15, I think it's verses 1 to 11. Just read that passage and think about Jesus. In what ways am I letting other distractions disconnect me from you? In what ways am I not connected in? Where are the places in my life that I'm allowing things to disconnect me from you, Jesus? And then maybe just dwell on that, spend time with that, and think about what practices, what rhythms, what could you do differently to stay connected to Jesus. And I'll be praying for you, and I hope you'll be praying for me, and that we'll be praying for one another as we journey on this series of practicing the way of Christ. Let's encourage one another. Blessings to you all.